video. If you trade the VEPs, if you do, you know about mean reversions, and you know about distributions, right? So what did we have on Monday? We had a very nice distribution. And what do we have on Tuesday? We had a very nice mean reversion, right? If you look, of course, different time frames have different distributions and mean reversions all the time. But just if you look at like the daily, the 4-hour, etc., you'll see that there were very nice distributions and mean reversions happening on those, on like the 4-hour time frame, on the 3-hour time frame, and obviously anything lower than that, there were plenty of distributions and mean reversions happening. What does this tell you? What does this remind you? It reminds you to look at all the information, look at the volatility, look at the variance, look at the entropy, look at the, correlations, right, obviously, of those things. Look at the returns oscillator for divergences or not divergences, continuations, right? Look at the entropy oscillator, right? Look at all the different leading information. And of course, go through your workflow at the start of the day that you begin trading. Work your way down all the way through the time frames. Get down to the time frames that you're actually trading. And then once you're done with that, once you're on the time frame that you're actually trading, then make the moves based on the actual information that's related to the time frames you're trading, right? So for instance, yesterday, perfect example. Yesterday on the daily time frames, we saw the volatility was looking still kind of down, right? After that significant drop. Now, is it possible that it could go up? Yes, and I even said as much, because I even told you it looked a bit more mixed than the day before. And there was a little bit of sign, like I think it was on the long length, that it was going to go to the upside, or maybe the middle length, whatever. One of the, forget which one, but one of the lengths was looking to the upside. Well, that's the one that played out, obviously, right? I think it was actually the middle length, right? Because it was flat, up, and then down. Those are how the volatility reads are looking on the daily yesterday. And that's pretty much how they played out, right? But the body of it, the majority of the day, it went up. And it was a trending day. So it was entirely possible that we would see trending moves. And there were certainly trending moves. There were a couple on the 15-minute, in the evening or whatever, or later in the day in U.S. time. And there were, plenty of trending moves, obviously, on the lower time frames, 6 minute and under, for example. Lots and lots and lots of trending moves. Now, were there a ton of trending moves on the 15-minute? No. In fact, most of the day was a random walk. But it was trending on lower time frames to the upside. All right? The range, the central daily range of the VRE was very tight, or relatively tight. It was like 0.67% or something like that. So pretty tight, not super, but well under the 1% or 2% threshold, depending on where you read that. And again, certainly on a day after a day like we had on Monday, it was entirely probable that there would be, a move, a continuation move or a reversal move. Now, why do I say that? Well, because when the volatility runs high, it doesn't usually just stop. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But usually the volatility will remain high. Just the correlation will switch, right? Or something, to that effect, basically. Or the correlation, or if the volatility is continuing to increase, right? And the correlation switch or whatever, you'll see that volatility remain in play. You'll see the entropy remain in play as it did, right? And what happens when that happens is you get either a continuation or you get a reversal, right? So in the case of yesterday, we saw nice reversals. Now, does it happen every time you have a dump or a pump? No, of course not. Right? Sometimes after a big pump, it'll go just kind of sideways for a little while before the next move. But it's very common like extremely common, especially in very volatile assets, that after a big move up or down, you see the move give back about a third or a half of the move, or in some cases more. And in this case, it was more. Right. So from the top, before it started dropping like crazy, of that move, like on Sunday, for example, down to the bottom on Monday, it was around like I think 9.5% move, something like that, more than 9%. And from the very bottom to the top of where it's been so far since I looked at it in the last couple hours or so, the last hour or so, it has recovered like more than 9%. I mean, not more than 6%, almost 7%. Last I looked. Last I measured it, I should say. What does that tell you? Well, that tells you that that bounce, you know, was moving on good leading information, and that the trades were very much available throughout the day. How do you know that? Well, you look on the lower time frames and you can see. You know, and if you can look at it and tell me, no, I wouldn't have gotten in there because I wanted it to pull back before I take another move. Right, but then when it pulled back, you're probably going to tell me, no, I wouldn't want to take it there because I wanted to bounce higher before I take a move there. You know, you'll always find the excuse not to run the trades. When you find excuses not to run the trades on a regular basis, what you end up doing, right, if you're actually with the intention of trading, then you're going to miss out. Hey, look at that. Somebody there in the comments. I don't know what you're writing. I can't read that from here. It's very bright and sunny. Just, I don't know how to read that. Sorry, bro, I don't speak that. Oh, hello to you, Duncan. If you guys have any questions, by all means, feel free to ask. So today, what you can expect is to see more action playing into the ongoing mean reversions that are happening on the daily and on lower time frames, and also up on the 7-day. Right? We still have the 7-day power mean reversions happening, and it's entirely possible, that we could see those play out this week or next week. I would not be surprised to see those power mean reversions happening in the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, it's quite possible that after yesterday's bounce that we saw, which really just mean reversions, that we could see more distributions today. And those distributions could well be to the downside, unless the lower time frames take the precedent and we see the moves actually flip back up. Now, if it does that, remember to keep your guidelines in check, because on the mean reversions, you've got upper limit guidelines, you've got lower limit guidelines, where the price action is highly improbable to go. Right? If it's in a mean reversion, then it has an outer limit on where it's not likely to go. Right? And again, if you don't know how to use the RMLR, but you want to know how to use all that stuff, all you got to do is go to the Alpha Trading Discord at alphatradinghq.com/discord, right? Or just go to the alphatradinghq.com website and click on the Discord link. Doesn't matter, either way, go there, it's free, and you can request the volatility starter pack. It'll get you free indicators and a free pre-populated chart so that you can actually learn for free with all the free educational material, videos, how-tos, documents, etc. Access to traders in real time, right? Access to the live chat, live stream, which is Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And in the live stream, you can, of course, participate. It's not like a one-way typical YouTube TA analysis. We actually let you engage, ask questions, ask for particular assets to be charted. We'll do that. We'll analyze it. right? When we chart something, we just really look at our tools. We don't draw on charts, right? If we do anything, it's just for fun, not for charting, not for analysis. Like we'll stick emojis on there because it's funny, but we don't. If we're drawing on charts, we're doodling because it's ridiculous. We don't draw on our charts. We use the tools that we have to actually analyze what's happening. No need to draw on the charts, right? This isn't coloring books for grown-ups. This is trading assets on the markets. So again, distributions and mean reversions are fully on in play right now. And people that are talking nonsense saying, oh, it's going to be a boring summer, they clearly don't trade low time frame, right? And if they do, they clearly don't trade low time frame volatility, entropy, probability, and statistics, because if they did, then they would never say something like it's going to be a boring whatever, because there are no boring days. Even on a day that looks like it's going flat, if you zoom out on a higher time frame, well, if you zoom into a low time frame, it's not going flat, right? The bots that run 80% of the trades on the markets, they don't take vacation. They don't go away for the summer, right? Yes, there are fewer people running them day to day inside of the big HFT firms, because some people at any given time will be away from their desk, on vacation or whatever. But we're talking like 5, 10, maybe 20% of the people at any given time. In the worst case, 20% of the people. They still have 80% of their staff on staff at work on the lowest days, right? So to suggest that the market is away for the summer, trade in May and go away, that's just such nonsense. Don't pay attention to that stuff. I saw even Anthony Pompliano recently in May, and started talking about that on CNBC about trade in May and go away. Like, you got to be kidding me, man. You go on TV, I mean, all those networks are misinformation anyway, right? So don't pay attention to the news when it comes to trading. You should be aware of the news if you want to know what the narratives are, just for the fun of it or whatever, or if it affects your life or something. But rarely does it actually affect people's lives directly, right? It's usually stories told by the interests of huge corporations. So unless you either work for one of them or are affected by them directly, usually they don't affect you, especially when it's like business news. And second of all, okay, you can tell me the economy affects you. Sure, the economy affects you, but they don't report to you the real facts about the economy on news shows. Right? They report to you the version of the economy they want to tell you from the narrative of the corporation that owns that network. It doesn't matter which network; they're all the same. They all have the same method of doing that, even though they're all owned by different corporations, right? And this is to make money, including fooling the audience in order to that. It doesn't matter. To make money, which is fine. That's their business interest. But just be aware of that. And so my point being, don't trade based on news. It's complete garbage, right? Who actually tells you what is going to happen? What are the probabilities of something that are going to happen, right? We do at Alpha Trading, right? That is literally what we do. We share information about what are the probabilities of something actually happening. And then if we happen to be live on stream when it happens, we are covering it. And, very often look, this is, probably going to hit this level or that level by a certain time. And very often it happens during the middle of our live streams. And we'll show you. We're not reading crystal balls. We're just reading the VEPs. The VEPs are a particularly accurate way of trading, which is why it is used by people who literally control the markets. So keep that in mind. Remember that the markets are run by maths and not by myths, right? They're run by volatility, not voodoo. Right? So anyway, hope to see you in the Alpha Trading Discord. Again, that site is at alphatradinghq.com. You can click on the Discord link or just go to alphatradinghq.com/Discord. Let's get to the Discord. It's free to join. You can make a free creative tickets for free in the request support channel. Just ask for the free volatility starter pack, and we'll get you hooked up. All you gotta have is a TradingView account. So just when you're filling out your ticket, just tell us your TradingView username, so we can hook you up with the indicators and the chart and everything else that you need. and to ask questions and all that stuff. So you get yourself started on your learning journey, if you want to call it that, to begin learning how to actually trade volatility, entropy, probability, and statistics. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. Like we don't we're a tiny community. Right? We are not in this to have 100,000 people buying our no. Like if you want to come into our server and actually buy our software, our indicators, you can't. Right? We won't sell it to you. We don't shill affiliate links, and we're not shilling our own indicators. We want you to learn for free first. Once you've actually learned everything that you need to know for free, and you actually decide you want to actually be a full-time or even part-time, like a serious trader, I don't care how much time, but a serious trader, not just messing around, and not just doing it once in a long while, well, then that's what the indicators are for on the pro level, where you can subscribe to them. But even before you pay for them, there's a free trial. But first learn the free stuff where you have free access, unfettered access, for as long as you're a member of the Discord, which is free. Learn with the free available tools first. We are sick and tired of seeing people get wrecked. So that's why we're not asking you to pay up front or at any time for our indicators. We're not asking you to pay. The only indicators you can pay for are our pro tools. And again, we don't make them available to just anyone. Like you need to show us that you actually know what you're doing with these indicators before we'll even let you try the free trial. And the answer to why is because if you come in and you just start using the free trial of the pro indicators, you're not going to have a clue what to do. 2 weeks is going to fly by. You're not going to get any benefit out of using them, and then you'll disappear, right? And some people come in, they've over the years, like they've insisted, no, I'm sending you money. And we're like, no, don't. And they send the money. They want the paid package for a month. The vast overwhelming majority of those people, not everyone, but the vast overwhelming majority, like well above 90% of the people that have done that, they're gone after a month. We never hear from them again. They buy the package. They don't know what they're doing. They think they're going to be able to learn, and they disappear. Like, yes, you can learn the basics and even begin to trade with the Pro Tools within a month. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I did it within a week or two. When I first went full bore into trading volatility, within a week I was trading full time with nothing but volatility indicators like crazy. Why? Because it happened to be during the period of the lockdown several years ago. It just happened to be then in my area where I was that I was locked down. I had nothing else to do. Well, I had a lot to do, but I couldn't go anywhere. So I learned. I put my head down. I dug like crazy, discovered a whole bunch of things, figured out how to scalp delta using volatility and correlation. I went to the guy that was making those indicators. I said, hey man, looks like we could do this, then the other thing. And he was like, wow, yes, it looks like you can. So I started doing that. I wrote a book about it in my first week. Like I was up 24/7 practically, catching only naps here and there in between, just because there's nothing else to do except, take care of my family at home. We couldn't go anywhere. So, and there was other hell happening that time. So it was a crazy time. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, so the point is, yeah, that yes, it is learnable in a relatively quick period of time if you put in full time on it. But if you don't put in, 16 hours a day or more learning this stuff, it's going to take you some time, and that's perfectly normal. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You got all the time that there is. Like you're not the market will be here the next day. You will be able to make a trade next week, next month, next year. The trades will continue to happen as long as there is a market. And for always, for the foreseeable future, there's going to be a market. So don't rush yourself, pace yourself, learn it properly. Take whatever time you actually need to learn it. Can you learn it quickly? Again, yes. Do you need to? That depends on you. Depends on your context. Do you need to learn it quickly, or can you take time? Depends on you. You know. The more you ask questions in the Discord, the better you'll be off, because we're saving you. That's why the community exists, right? You will save yourself a lot of time, and you'll also save other people time who haven't bothered to ask the question. A lot of wallflowers will just sit in the Discord and just never participate. It's like, why are they even there? But somebody will ask a question, and then one of those wallflowers will happen to read it, and they'll learn something. So the more you ask questions, the better you are for it. You'll learn more, you'll learn faster. We didn't have such a thing when we started it. I mean, we kind of had a Discord thing, a group thing. But if you ask questions, you normally get berated, like extremely, by a verbally abusive bunch of people. It was disgusting. And that's why one of the reasons we created Alpha Trading is because we don't want to be verbally abusive to people who just want to learn a thing, right? We know there's a lot of masochists in the world who apparently enjoy to be abused verbally, but that's not our thing, man. Like, we're here for, trading better and good vibes, good times. We want people to not get wrecked continually by the market, and we want people to not feel daunted by the prospect of learning something that is learnable. All right? So that's what Alpha Trading is all about. It's like a friendly community of traders who will actually tell you the proper, better way to trade. Anyway, I've spoken quite a bit now, so I'm just going to end this here for now, and I'll see you guys hopefully in the Alpha Trading Discord and or in the Alpha Trading server in general, and little live streams. So that's it for now. Take care. Happy trading. Cheers.